New summit has taken place this week called the Working Dads Summit that aims to make it easier to be an active, present father. Elliott Rae is founder of Parenting Out Loud, author and speaker who founded the Working Dads Summit. Elliott, great to have you with us this morning. Tell me, what is this summit hoping to achieve?
So the summit was yesterday and it was incredible. There were so many people in the room, online, so much enthusiasm, so many people coming together to really take a stand and encourage each other and really look to the future. I mean, the people in the room, the people that were attending, believe in equal parenting. They believe in reducing the barriers to dads being equal parents. And that means encouraging dads to be loud and proud about their caring responsibilities at work so they can be equal parents at home. Now, the benefits are wide-ranging for the whole of society, for children, for businesses, for mums and for dads. And so it was really a summit to come together and share ideas from business leaders, government and dads themselves. So
what is it that's stopping dads being more active and more present in their children's life?
A variety of different things. We can start off with the woeful paternity leave that we have in the UK, one of the worst in Europe, paid at £187 per week, below the national living wage. And that means that, according to the TUC, only around 4 in 5 dads take paternity leave. 1 in 5 dads take no paternity leave at all. And we know from the research that when dads aren't involved and supported to be fully involved parents from the very beginning, that can have an impact in regards to how they bond with their baby, their relationship, the idea of masculinity, that we fall into these kind of traditional gender roles that mean men tend to play the provider and protector role. When it comes to the workplace, flexible working, men are less likely to ask for a flexible working request. And when they do, they are less likely to have those requests approved. So again, another barrier to dads being active and involved parents. And then there's the wider kind of societal narrative that really puts men in a very narrow role when it comes to family life, and that's the traditional providing, protecting role. And there is stigma that comes with male caring. And so I think for dads, they are fighting against a variety of different barriers. And what we're trying to do is raise awareness of those and then think about the solutions so we can tackle those and dads can be the dads that they want to be now.
It's a cultural problem as well, isn't it? I was just thinking as you were talking, yes, there's things that government could do on paternity leave and shared parental leave and so on. But ultimately, what we've got to change is this idea that is still pretty common and pretty entrenched, that somehow raising children is a woman's work, not a man's.
Yes, for Parenting Out Loud, that's my organisation. We are all about creating societies, communities and workplaces that support dads to be loud about their caring responsibilities. To be able to say to their manager, I need to leave at 3 p.m. because it's my turn to do the school pickup.
Which I would imagine, Elliot, is often met with the response from some managers of, well, where's your wife or where's your partner?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Where's your wife? Can't your partner do it? Or, it can be taken as you're not serious about your job, you're not dedicated to your career progression. And these are all issues that women have faced for many years,
Yep.
And I think if we're going to create equality for women and remove what is called the motherhood penalty, where women face discrimination, maternity discrimination and discrimination going back into the workplace.
Yes.
We need to level the playing field and make sure men can step up. And yes, we have to then break down the cultural stigma. That comes with education, it comes with storytelling, conversation. Like, dads want this now. The idea in the 60s and 70s where we were kind of providers and protectors, we went to work, we came home, we saw our kids for 5 minutes every day. Maybe we did bath time, maybe we saw them on a Saturday morning. That's really gone now. The majority of dads now want a different life. We understand that well-being and success is not just how much money you earn and your monetary remuneration that you receive at your job. It's around your friendships, your relationships, your partnerships, the quality time you have with your children. Like, no one dies and says, I really regret seeing my kids so much. People want a balance in life now. We've tasted that during COVID. And so Parenting Out Loud and the Working Dad Summit was about getting people together who understand this, who are on the same page, and creating a movement and solutions as to how do we achieve that in the very near future.
And this isn't just to touch on what you were saying there, Elliott, this isn't about taking away women's rights and giving them to men, or reducing the importance of mums and beefing up the importance of dads. This is about a change that would, as you say, make life better for the child, for the dad, and last but not least at all, take some of the burden and the pressure off mums.
Exactly that. We have a gender pay gap of 13.1% in the UK. 80% of that is the motherhood penalty. So to move away from that, to fix that, 74,000 women per year lose their job due to maternity discrimination. Women do about 60% more unpaid childcare than men, and around 3 in 4 mothers who work full time are more likely to say they take on full responsibility for their child, and they are the main carer for the children, even when both couples work. So if we're going to achieve equality for mothers in the workplace, which is a massive issue, one of the big ways we do that is empower dads to do more. And so this is not just about making the world better for dads. That is one of the big reasons, of course. The other big reason is making the world better for mums. And yesterday at the summit, there was a lovely mixture of people from all different backgrounds, race, class, sexuality and gender, and everyone on the same page, understanding this is good for everybody. It's a win-win. It's not a zero-sum game. It's not a competition. This is something that benefits the whole of society, so we can work together to make it happen.
Why do you think it hasn't happened so far? Because it is, with all due respect to you, Elliott, this has been, there's been people calling for these sorts of changes for quite a few years now, and we don't seem to be making much progress. Why do you think the people in positions of power don't seem to be listening?
So I would say we have made some progress. There are about 165 organisations that offer equal parental leave. That means that they match paternity and maternity. In some companies such as Vodafone and Eon and Universal Music Group, you get 6 months paid paternity leave as a dad. There are so many more dad networks. There are so many more dads speaking up on social media to talk about how they work flexibly and are fully involved at home. So I think it's important to note we have made some progress, but of course there is so much further to go. I would say that one of the biggest changes that we can make would start with increasing the statutory paternity pay. We are one of the worst in Europe. 2 weeks at £187 per week is ridiculous.
It's shocking.
We need to extend that to at least 6 weeks at 90% pay. That would make a massive difference. So I think we need leaders at the top of government and business to really recognise that this is an issue that's important to people and make the relevant changes. I think the reason we haven't had those changes is because we have been very stuck for many decades, I would say, in traditional ideas of gender roles. And breaking those down is quite difficult. You have to have some really open, honest, new conversations and be skilled in how do you approach that conversation with people who have lived their lives in a certain way, and they've grown up in their household in a certain way, and see their dad behave in a certain way and their mother behave in a certain way. So I think we need to have a massive national conversation about masculinity, about what it means to be a dad, about what well-being looks like for men. There is the idea that the world is working for men, and yes, we have massive male privilege, but at the same time, 1 in 5 men die prematurely before the age of 65. 1 in 5 men have no close friendships. 1 in 10 dads experience postnatal depression. And if we're going to solve these issues, we need to think about a new way that we can show up as men in our households, in our workplaces, so we can live longer, have better relationships, and overall improve our well-being and our relationships. So there's a massive conversation to be had. I think it does start with policy. It starts with business leaders as well. But what we're cultivating also in Parenting Out Loud is a grassroots movement of men and dads who are saying, no, we want to do things differently. We're going to stand up, and we're really going to be part of making that change happen.
Elliott, thank you so much for coming on. Well, it's a brilliant initiative, if you ask me. That's Elliott Rae, founder of Parenting Out Loud, author and speaker who founded the Working Dads Summit.